How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. I went into town and picked me up a brand new large skillet. And when I got it, I wasn't real happy with it. It's real rough inside. Then I look at one of my old ones, and it's real smooth inside. So what I'm going to be doing today is restoring a new skillet. I'm going to make this thing smooth inside. So I'm going to be using a 4-inch grinder. We use this to do the restore, the cast iron skillet restore. We used a wire brush in this thing and it worked pretty good. I figured as heavy as the bumps are in the skillet that I would use the 4-inch grinder with a wire. I have a sanding disc on here. I'm not sure what size disc it is, but it's pretty rough paper. And then we'll get it sanded down with this first, and then we'll get some finer paper on it. Let me show you how rough this thing is. Look at the difference in these two skillets. And from what I understand, they put that on there so that it'll hold their seasoning. I'm not crazy about that. And then look at this old skillet, how smooth it is. This in here, real rough. I'm not crazy about the rough, so we're going to take the rough off of this skillet and make it smooth like this skillet over here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this grinder grinding. Okay, I'm not sure how well this is going to work out, but I'm going to do a small spot and see what it looks like. And if it don't look like it's tearing up the skillet too much, we'll go ahead and finish the skillet out. So here goes nothing. Okay, let's take a look down in here and see what it's doing to our skillet. It's actually smooth. I see some pits in there. I don't know whether I could get all the pits out of there, but we're going to see what we can do. I think I'm going to keep going with it. It looks like it's doing a pretty good job. And then when we get done with this sandpaper, we're going to go to a finer sandpaper. We're going to see if we can get this thing to look pretty smooth inside. Well, the 4-inch grinder got it down really good. Now I just put some sandpaper on a disc, and this is 150 grit, and I'm just going to keep working it and see if I can get as much as I can out of this. It's starting to smooth up pretty good though. It's looking nice. So we're just going to keep cleaning it up with this fine sandpaper and see what we come out with. Okay. So far we got the drill and we used the 150 sandpaper. We was using 80 grit, and then we got the 150, went over this real good with the 150, and I got some 320 paper, and I'm going to go ahead, and I think the rest of it just going to be hand sanding. There's really nothing but some scratches in there, and once we get them out we should have a pretty good skillet here. Now, compared to how rough it was pretty rough. It looked like the outside of the skillet. So we're going to have a smooth skillet when we're done. A good smooth cooking surface. So as soon as we get this done, then guess what? We got to season this skillet. So got to get it seasoned up so stuff don't stick in there. Because I know we had already taken all the seasoning off this skillet. There is nothing left to it. So we're going to have to do something about that. Okay, I got this thing set up here at my little desk, and I just rinsed that out. You can see it started to rust already. But we're just going to use a little bit of cooking oil here. Put a little bit of cooking oil down in there. And I'm going to sit down here with some sandpaper. And I'm going to go ahead, and you can see the little scratches and everything that's in the bottom of this. And we're going to sit here and we're going to sand all these scratches out and make sure this thing's nice and smooth. Okay, I'm all done sanding the inside of the skillet, and I think I got it actually pretty smooth. And I actually have another brand new skillet right here, so you can see the difference in how rough this is here compared to what we have now. And this is the real old skillet. This one's really smooth in the bottom. So what we got to do now is we got to get this skillet seasoned. This is what that skillet looked like when it was brand new. Now we're just going to rinse this off with some hot water here, because we were sanding it. We're not going to use any soap on it. We're just going to wash it off with some hot water, and then we're going to dry it up. Now we're going to let that dry off in the on the stove there, get all the moisture off of it, and then we're going to put some oil on it. We got the stove preheating at 375 right now. The last skillet I did on 320 or 350. If you guys haven't watched that video, it's how I season a skillet. But now, I'm not saying this is the correct way to season a skillet. This is just the way I do it. So, we're going to do this one on 375. As you can see, we don't have any seasoning at all on this skillet. We sanded everything out. So, and what we're going to do is we're going to warm this skillet up good before we put our, and I'm using a shortening. It's a Crisco, and you guys can look at the label. This is what I'm using to season the skillet with. So this skillet is ready to put the grease on here, and we're not going to do a lot. We're just going to do a light coat on this. We don't want it dripping off of it. We just want a nice light coat all over this thing. Now this is going to take several times seasoning it, because like I said, there's nothing on it right now. This skillet has absolutely, and I'm using an old, actually this is not an old t-shirt, this is a new t-shirt I had bought to cut up for this. And I've seen people use paper towels and everything. They say that it leaves lint on them, but so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that in the oven for 1 hour. I'm going to bake that in the oven upside down for 1 hour over some aluminum foil. I'm going to put aluminum foil on the bottom rack and flip this over upside down. Now, normally you would do the handle and everything, but this is a new skillet, so even the bottom of it, it doesn't hurt to even do the bottom of your skillet. Okay, we got our aluminum foil down in there. Now we're just going to flip the pan over, set it in there, and we're going to let that bake for about an hour on 375, and then we're going to let her cool down. Okay, we just got the skillet out. It's cool enough you can touch it now. So I'm going to heat it up just a little bit on the stove, and we're going to put some more oil in it and do it again. Now you can see it's got like a little bit of a tint to it. It's not as shiny as it was before. So we're going to go ahead and get this burner turned on. I'm going to let that heat up just a minute. Then we're going to put some more of our Crisco in there. Our skillet is nice and hot now. We're just going to go ahead and put another coat of oil in there. We're just going to do a light coat of this oil in there, and we're just going to do pretty much the inside of it here. We'll go ahead and throw it in the oven and give her another hour of cooking. Alright, you can see how dark this is getting. It's starting to get dark now. Now, we probably won't get it as black as the outside of the skillet, but it'll, over time, it will turn black. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and heat the skillet back up, and we're going to do this again. So this is actually the third time. So we'll get it heated up till we can't touch the skillet, and we'll put our Crisco on it. Like I said, we're just going to do this thing one more time. And then we're going to get it put back in the oven. Leave it in there another hour. Okay, as you guys can see, our skillet is done now, and it's starting to get darker. It's just a little bit darker, but over time it'll keep getting darker and darker. So we're going to we heated this up just a little bit. We're going to take a couple pieces of ham and throw in here. I don't have any bacon, and yeah, I don't have any bacon thawed out. So we're going to throw a couple pieces of bacon in here.
Ham.
Or ham. I'm thinking of bacon, because everybody said do bacon. Well, I got some ham here. So we're going to do some ham and see how good this skillet works out. Hopefully it won't stick real bad or anything there. If it does, I'll just have to season it again. And we'll just take our time and we'll keep doing it until we get it right. It seems like it's going to be pretty good. They're not sticking as of right now. So fry us up a couple pieces of ham, make us a sandwich. Sounds good. And like I said, well, once we get the skillet using it a lot more, that all in there is going to get darker each time we use it. So it's not sticking at all. Everything seems to be moving around there pretty easily. So I think we successfully seasoned the skillet, and we do have it pretty smooth in the bottom, so hopefully this will help out even in the seasoning process. It's not sticking at all in that skillet. Yeah, I like the way that skillet's working right now. Hopefully, I just didn't want anything to stick in it, and I think we did pretty good. Well, it's definitely not sticking in the skillet, so I think we did a good job on seasoning it. And I'm going to go ahead and take this ham out of here and make me a sandwich. So I'd like to tell everybody thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.